before this video actually goes on, I've been streaming every single day on my stream channel down below, doing all kinds of gameplay, all kinds of like funny stuff, all kinds of really fun stuff on my stream channel. So make sure to drop a sub on that channel. Link will be down below in the description and comments. Currently we're on I think day 11 in a row, so definitely trying to keep up the streak. Typically I stream right around like 6 p.m. PST, which should be on your time zone on the screen right now. And also make sure to drop a like on the video if you ever do enjoy it. Supports me a ton. But anyway, let's go ahead and go on with the video. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's HawksNest here, back with another Call of Duty mobile video. Now, before I actually go to bed, currently it's 2:30 a.m., so I need to go to sleep very soon. But before I go to bed, I just wanted to make a quick little video basically talking about the Cordite SMG coming to Call of Duty Mobile. And basically what we're going to be talking about the gun is the release date of the weapon, when the free-to-play version will be coming out, potentially when the Lucky Draw version will come out, and then also some of the stats that we already know about the weapon, and whether or not I think it will be the best SMG to be inside of Call of Duty Mobile. And I don't say that as just like a clickbait, like, oh, best SMG type thing. I legitimately want to talk about whether or not I think this will be a competitive SMG, because I already know a lot of stats on it, because I was actually able to test it inside of Gun Game. If you guys are curious, you can actually test the weapon by going inside of Gun Game. Gun Game Team Fight, I think, is actually the specific mode. But anyway, the third gun you actually get inside of that is the Cordite SMG. Now, in terms of the release date for the Cordite SMG, it is going to be May 15th for most of the world, and it should be May 14th for the Americas, or just America. I don't know specifically, but for my time zone, the West Coast, which is PST, it should be coming out at 5 p.m. May 14th, because that is our typical update time. I can't absolutely guarantee the time, but most of the time when they add new content and unlock stuff, it typically comes out at 5 p.m. PST, which would be 8 p.m. EST. I'll probably put the time zones up on your screen right now if you guys are curious. But typically whenever your game updates, whenever new content drops, like the battle pass and all that stuff, at that time for you should be when the Cordite comes out on the 15th or the 14th if you live in America. Now, that is if the time zone is actually based on UTC, and most of the time they do base their time zone off of UTC when they actually tell us a time or a date. So should be that. But if they're basing the time zone off of American time zones, then it'll come out for the 15th for us in America, or not us, but me in America. And then it'll come out on the 16th for everyone else. Now, I do want to mention this is also on the global version. I'm not 100% positive if the Garena version has this. If you guys are on the Garena server and you guys have seen this screenshot pop up ever, please let me know down in the comments. I'll make sure to heart or pin the correct answer, because obviously if like 100 people say the screenshot exists and one person says it doesn't, then it does exist. So I'll make sure to pin the correct answer down below just so you guys know for sure. I don't actually play the Garena server, so I don't know for sure right now. But yeah, so that's when it is actually coming out, and it is going to be a free version. As you can tell from the screenshot, it says complete seasonal event tasks for special rewards, and then it shows the free-to-play Pharaoh and the free-to-play Locust. So it is going to be free, and also it includes a screenshot of the Cryo Bomb. If you guys are wondering what the Cryo Bomb is, it's essentially a tactical grenade, I guess, which like lets out some cold air. I don't know exactly how to define it, but basically it lets out cold air, and people will be slowed when they walk in it. So it's very similar to like a Molotov, but instead of doing damage, it will slow the enemy. And again, it's a tactical slot weapon, so it's going to be inside of your wherever you have like a flash, a trophy, and stuff like that. Now, more than likely, it will be a skinless gray Cordite, and then it should also be a blue skinned Cordite, just because that's what we've seen with both the Locust and the Pharaoh. They both have a gray and blue version inside of the seasonal event tasks. And then also Call of Duty Mobile has already showed a cinematic where there is the Cordite 0G skin. Now, from what we can tell based on the cinematics that they've shown and past Cordite skin that we've seen, and I think it was like Black Ops 4, this is more than likely going to be a legendary Cordite skin inside of a Lucky Draw, because we have already seen there is a 0G Lucky Draw, so the Cordite will definitely be in that, considering the skin is the Cordite 0G. And more than likely, this is going to be just like the GKS Unicorn, where the more kills you get, the more animated it gets. The reason I say that is because in the cinematic, we saw it was animated and glowing and stuff, but when they were actually showing the gun initially, it wasn't animated, so it seems like the more kills you get, the more it starts to glow. So that's the information we have on when the Cordite will be coming and how you can actually get it. Again, it'll have the free version inside of the seasonal tasks, and then it will have the 0G version inside of a Lucky Draw. I can't predict when the Lucky Draw is coming out for sure. I'll go ahead and check when this one expires just to see roughly. Okay, so I just checked, and we got the Panda Lucky Draw on April 16th, and then we got the High Noon Lucky Draw on May 2nd. So it seems like the time gap in between Lucky Draws is right around 2 weeks. So more than likely, we're going to expect it right around the 16th. So it could actually drop at the exact same day that we actually get the free version of the Cordite. So maybe they'll drop the free version and the Lucky Draw version at the same time. Don't know for sure, but it definitely seems like it will be coming right around or after the free version of the Cordite. Okay, so now let's go ahead and discuss the current stats that I actually have on the Cordite, and we'll compare it to some of the other SMGs just to get a quick idea of what the Cordite will actually look like, whether or not it will be a good gun, and just so far what we know about the weapon. And this part shouldn't take too long. We're going to go through it kind of briefly, but at the end of it, you should know quite a bit about the Cordite. All right, so now if we actually go to my website, HawksNest.gg, go to the left tab, the little 3 lines right here, COD Mobile Guns. I've already measured the Cordite, again, quite a few stats, and put it onto my website, so if you guys want to check this out, you can. But anyway, if we toggle down SMGs and the Cordite, let's also just go ahead and toggle down the RUS for comparison. So in terms of the fire rate that I measured, it has a fire rate of 794, which is just a bit faster than the RUS. If you guys are curious what that compares to the MSMC or how it compares, here's the MSMC's fire rate. It is 878. So as you can tell, it's a pretty decent amount slower than the MSMC, but it's also a decent amount faster than the RUS. Overall, it should be pretty similar. You probably won't notice too big of a difference, but again, it's going to be fast. Now, I don't actually have a recoil graph on it yet because the way I measure recoil, I can't actually do in gun game. But based on the recoil testing that I did, which was very minimal, it seems like it has a very vertical recoil, meaning it doesn't go side to side too much, and it seems somewhat easy to control. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty similar to like probably the GKS. Let me check out the GKS's recoil. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be pretty similar to the GKS's recoil, except obviously it's going to go up a little bit faster because it shoots faster than the GKS. But yeah, so I think that's what we can expect for the recoil. And here's the damage over range. I'm going to zoom in just a tad bit. If you guys were curious, that's going to be the damages over ranges. So as you can tell, it's actually very, very comparable to the RUS. I'm not going to break down the ranges and stuff because, again, I'm going to be doing a video on the Cordite when it comes out, a whole guide and everything covering all of the stats. This is just some of the quick ones. But yeah, so there's just a little bit of information on the Cordite versus the RUS. And then if you're wondering how that correlates to time to kill is how fast you can kill someone, basically. If you hit every single shot, obviously, so if a gun's recoil is worse, it's going to be harder to get this time to kill. But technically, if you hit every single shot, this is what the time to kill would look like in milliseconds. So the craziest thing is actually the Cordite is faster killing than the RUS at every single range. Now, given it's not a whole lot faster, but at every single range, it is faster than the RUS. The only range it's actually slower is from 20 to 21 meters. I'll go ahead and highlight that range right now. It's literally 1 meter is the only time the Cordite is slower than the RUS. But every other range, it will actually kill faster than the RUS. Now, there's another thing, too, that actually makes this thing pretty crazy. There's actually 2 things. Now, in terms of the headshot multiplier, it has a headshot multiplier of 1.2, which is actually really crazy because literally every other SMG has a headshot multiplier of 1.1, which just means you'll do 10% damage to the head, or 10% more damage. And again, the Cordite will be doing 20% more damage to the head, which is actually really crazy. If you guys are curious, like how that affects whether or not you'll kill people faster, you can read all that information right here. We're not going to go over that. But yeah, so that means basically headshots are going to be really helpful on this weapon compared to other SMGs, which is quite interesting because, again, SMGs normally have a very low headshot multiplier, meaning they're most of the time pretty useless. And also another cool thing is the magazine size is actually 40, and I'm almost positive it's 48 with a extended mag, just because most SMGs you get a bonus 8 rounds, which if you compare that to the RUS, it's higher than that. So that's crazy. It has a faster time to kill almost always than the RUS. It seems like the recoil is going to be pretty similar to the RUS, maybe even better. Has a bigger magazine size. Reload speed is a little bit slower, but it's like barely anything. So in terms of like the ADS speed, I feel like the ADS speed might be kind of slow then, because this does seem like it's going to be kind of like an AR. I don't really know for sure. Mobility, I still haven't tested mobility. Again, I'm going to be testing all these stats. It'll be in a separate video. Sights, all that stuff, video guide, all of that's going to be coming soon. A stat that I don't actually have on my website, but it is kind of important, is the hipfire, and the hipfire on the Cordite is freaking ridiculous. So as you can tell, man, it's just compared to the RUS, and the RUS is considered one of the best, if not the best SMGs in the game. It definitely seems like the Cordite is going to be pretty unreal. I don't know what's going to hold it back, because if all of these stats are the exact same when it actually does come out, then it's going to be the best SMG, potentially even the best gun in the game, to be honest. I highly doubt they'll change anything from what I've already tested. I double checked my testing, and it does seem like it's all perfectly correct. Again, I'll triple and quadruple check when it actually comes out, and I can test it very easily. And I'll do a whole video covering everything on that. Once again, I know I've said that a ton of times. But yeah, so that's what the Cordite basically looks like as of what we know right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video talking about the Cordite SMG and the Cryo Bomb. And with all of that being said, make sure to drop a like and a sub down below if you guys did enjoy, and I will see you guys later. Peace.